What's up, guys? Welcome back to another interview. My name is Alex Axel Toss Rodriguez, and this time I have another StarCraft 2 Pro. This is a guy who kind of burst onto the scene last year. He joined Evil Geniuses, doing a great job. He's actually taking classes while he's taking over the world in StarCraft 2 at UC Berkeley. He went to the World Championships and eventually lost 3 games in a row to the eventual champion. Came very close to shocking a lot of people, but it shocked a lot of people in the process. Anyway, I'm rambling too much. On the line, I have Conan Suppy Lou from Team Evil Geniuses. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing pretty awesome. How are things right now? What have you been up to?
I've been really busy with summer classes. I was originally supposed to go to Korea, but the plans fell through. So I ended up taking an MCAT class and then another class at school, and it's like 5 hours a day, 4 days a week,
Wow.
and homework on top of it. So I've been really busy. I wish I didn't take that second class, but
Ugh.
that's basically what I've been up to the past couple days.
I can relate to
Weeks.
that, man. It's like summer's coming up, and you're thinking, you know what? I should take a couple summer classes. And you're like, well, I'm taking 2. Why not take 3? And then you're like immediately regretting it 2 weeks in, and then it's like really hot outside, and then you're like, gosh, I don't want to walk to class. But I'm coming from Texas and Texas A&M, so that's kind of my story beyond the thing. But does this kind of play into your scheduling during the year? Because I know in an ideal situation, you can have a bunch of classes during the year, so you don't really have to take those summer classes. Is it something you're trying to get ahead, or something where it's kind of necessary so you can stick to your degree plan?
I think it's more of the latter because during the school year, I try to take less units and I try to stack them all on Tuesday through Thursday. So that way, when I go to events and stuff on
Ah,
the weekends and I have to leave on Friday or Thursday, I'm not missing nearly as much class. So taking the summer classes kind of makes sure I'm staying on track instead of getting behind by taking a little bit less units over the regular school year.
fair enough. I've talked to a lot of pro players with these interviews so far, and I get similar answers from all of them who are also studying at the same time. Of course, players like Kawhi Rice, Hendrilisk, of course, let's see, I think Hello Kitty goes to University of Texas State. So a lot of examples similar to yours. You know, first of all, when are you graduating and what's your major?
I will be graduating in 2015 if I go by the standard 4-year plan.
Wow.
And right now, my major is integrative biology, which is basically just biology, but they tacked on integrative to make it sound cooler or something, I guess.
Integrative biology.
Yeah.
Okay. What made you get into that?
I've always liked science, and I've actually liked pretty much every single subject that I've done, in my entire academic career. But biology has always been one that's particularly been interesting to me, especially because I've done research when I was in high school. I did some research on like diabetes in a lab, and
Wow.
just got me more passionate about the subject. So I really like the subject.
That's really cool. So, that makes you a sophomore?
Just finished sophomore year,
Okay, fair enough. So how old are you?
20.
20. Wow. Okay, that's pretty young. So, obviously, you're on Team Evil Geniuses, and I kind of want to talk about that a little bit. How did that process kind of happen? Of course, this happened around a year ago, but I've always been interested in this story. Of course, Suppy, you were a guy who kind of getting results here and there, kind of an up-and-comer, obviously still focusing on classes, and then you get the call from Evil Geniuses that they want you on board. How did that process kind of work, and how did you feel once the ink was dry?
Well, basically, he contacted me at a local barcraft. Cody Evole, my
Ah.
manager,
Hmm.
lives like 15 minutes away. So he actually came to one of the barcrafts my club was putting on
Yeah.
and just approached me there after I qualified for assembly and had a good MLG run. And then from then on, you know, I was really shocked because EG is known for, taking up all the big name players who are stars, already have won tournaments, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was definitely quite a shock that they wanted to pick me up, but in the end, I was really glad that they provided me with the opportunity, and I've had a lot of good experiences
Sure.
thanks to EG.
So soon after qualify or actually getting the invite to Evil Geniuses and representing the team, you get the spot in China, and it's actually a little bit interesting how you got that spot. Obviously, you played well at MLG, but Ostergy, I think if my story is incorrect, please feel free to correct me. Ostergy couldn't make it to the World Finals, and you ended up taking his spot. Is this correct?
Yeah, so he actually decided to focus more on his studies, so it's kind of interesting. And I actually almost rejected the spot as well because I wanted to focus on my studies as well because going on a trip to China is a huge commitment. Like you had to miss like 3+ days of
And this was
school.
like November too, or
Yeah, this I think it was around November.
relatively near exams, the crunch time kind of. Anyway, go on.
So yeah, I ended up taking his spot. and it ended up being a really great experience for me. So I was actually pretty glad in the end that I did decide to go.
And I have to go back and talk about that a little bit. For those of you who don't remember, this was a time, it's kind of still a time where the Koreans are winning everything. And Suppy, one of those North American hopes from the United States in college, trying to make a run. You get all the way against Parting. I think it was the round of 8, I want to say. It was a best of 5. You were up 2-0, and then Parting came up to win 3 in a row. And then Parting went on to win the whole thing. So you were
Hmm.
one win away from obviously unseating the future champion and potentially getting even further than a lot of people were expecting. Going back to that tournament, what was kind of your thought process going into it? And did you expect to do as well as you did? And what were you kind of feeling after you fell apart?
Going into the tournament, my initial goal was really just to make it out of my first round of 32 group and make it to the round of 16. And I was actually really worried that I wasn't even going to be able to do that. But as the tournament kept going on and I kept winning, I realized that I actually could get pretty far. But I ended up playing against Parting, and I kind of went in with the mindset like, I'm just going to play it. Scarlett just got 3-0'd by him, so I'm just going to play, probably going to lose. Um, and when I did lose, I didn't feel that bad. But the next day is when it really, really hit me, where I was
Oh,
like,
that could have
wow,
been
that could
me.
have been so huge. That could have been a
Yeah.
game changer if I had one. He was the eventual champion. I think if I faced Sen, who was the next opponent for the next round, I think I could have won because I had practiced so much ZVZ for the tournament because of my All Zerg group. And like it could have been something where
Yeah.
I had placed maybe top 2 or even,
At the World Championship
yeah,
as
and
an
then I could have
American.
taken time off school, so it could have been like a life changer, to be honest.
Wow. So does that kind of motivate you? Moving forward, identifying, okay, that could have been great. I'm good enough to finish among the best. Does that motivate you moving forward? Do you think about that at all?
Yeah, it motivates me. It also kind of sometimes can demotivate you too, because you feel like I missed that opportunity. But yeah, it's definitely a motivation as well because you know that it is possible for you to make a really big run in a tournament as well.
Yeah. No, that's super cool. Now, this was also a period after you had joined Evil Geniuses. I talked to Xenoside a little bit as far as the pressure upon, of course, you're an up-and-comer, you're trying to make a name for yourself, you're kind of unexpected as far as EG picking you up. Did that add a lot of pressure going into this tournament, being that you just joined this premier team and now, you're kind of feeling like, okay, I got to kind of show some results for them?
Um, for BWC in particular, I didn't feel that much pressure. But for my first initial tournaments when I was on EG, I definitely felt a lot of pressure. For example, Assembly and MLG Raleigh, which I think were the 2 tournaments right after I joined EG. I definitely had a lot of pressure for those ones because I felt like people were going to be judging me and how I was doing. But thankfully, I feel like I sort of established myself as a pretty decent player. So going into future tournaments, I felt like I had already established that um, I kind of belonged on EG, hopefully, and so the pressure subsided a little bit from
Sure.
there.
That's awesome. You definitely do deserve to be on a premier team, in my personal and humble opinion. But obviously, being on a professional team, traveling all over the world, some people are going to notice that in your personal life, family, friends. What has been their reaction as far as all of this video game shenaniganry is concerned?
My family has been typical Asian parents. They don't really approve of it. When I was younger, they'd like lock the door to the computer room
Oh
and not let me
gosh.
play. But they've actually been a lot more open to it than I think a lot of other parents would be as well. When I first asked them to go to a LAN when I was in 8th grade or something, they were
Yeah.
pretty open and willing to let me go. They actually thought it'd be a good thing for me. And then I started organizing LANs myself. They offered to support it. And then after I joined EG, they realized, this is actually kind of cool. They kind of brag to their other like older friends or
Sure.
whatever, and they actually attended MLG Dallas.
Really?
Yeah,
Cool.
the one in November,
Yeah.
and they thought it was really really cool, and I felt like
Wow.
they were actually kind of proud. Like whenever I was signing an autograph or something, they'd like take like countless pictures and stuff. They had a little bit of parental pride, I guess.
Well-deserved pride. That's awesome to hear. Um, okay, so we were talking about. So what about from a friend's standpoint? Are all your friends mostly StarCraft players?
No, I have a lot of like normal friends.
StarCraft
Actually,
players are normal.
yeah, they are normal. Um, but yeah, I have a lot of friends who aren't into StarCraft, and they actually think it's pretty cool as well. Um, So I mean, I wouldn't be friends with them if they thought like StarCraft was like some stupid thing, I
Sure,
guess.
sure. No, that makes 100% sense. Now, being on Evil Geniuses and studying at the same time, at any moment, it feels like you're kind of in a position where you might have to choose between one or the other. Do you feel this way, or do you feel like, all right, I'm just playing casually, let's finish school, and then come 2014, 2015, whenever you graduate, that's when you're going to put your foot, pedal on the metal, and really go forward with professional gaming?
Yeah, so that's like one big dilemma I face right now is because I feel like if I wait until 2015 when I graduate, that's 2 years down the line. Maybe I'm not going to be in the same position I am right now. Maybe I won't have the same opportunities.
Hmm.
So, it's really really something tough for me where I have to figure out, what do I want to do right now with this opportunity that I have? Like how am I going to make the most out of it? So it's been a big dilemma for me, whether to focus first on school or on this awesome opportunity that I have. So,
Yeah, I can imagine such a dilemma. Somewhat similar my story as well as far as commentating in school is concerned, so I can definitely relate to that. Now, moving forward, what are we looking what are we looking at in the future as far as goals, aspirations? What are you focusing on right now? StarCraft related or not?
um, well, StarCraft related, probably. I mean, it's always just been to continue improving in tournaments and getting better results. I really want to win a main stage match. I've only won one main stage match
Ugh,
in my entire career, and it was in China. I'd love to win one at an MLG. Been really close. I was 1-1 against Pult at the last
yes,
MLG, which he
yes.
won. And I think that'd be an awesome experience for me. And I just like to continue working and building up my stream. I've been trying to stream more consistently, and yeah, pretty much that. And academically, I am taking an MCAT class right now. I think I mentioned that earlier, so
Mhm.
hoping to do well on that test as well.
Now, you mentioned your stream. You're like one of those guys who everyone knows on Team Liquid as far as your username, and that, like it kind of worked with me, like seeing Superior Wolf everywhere on Team Liquid, and then it took me like 5 months to realize, wait, that's Suppy. You have a ridiculous amount of posts on the Team Liquid forums. Can you talk about how you kind of started with that, why you continue to be an active participant in the community, and kind of maybe the dichotomy or whatever exists between EG and Liquid, where you're always active on this Liquid community, and then EG gives you an invite. What kind of goes through your mind as far as is it kind of choosing between one or the other? Can I get some thoughts on that?
Well, I've been involved with the StarCraft community since 2007 when I first joined Team Liquid,
Yeah.
and I started doing commentaries and stuff. So I was actually kind of infamous for like really bad commentaries back when I was younger.
And
Um,
these are on YouTube, by the way. You got the Squeaky Boy Suppy on his YouTube channel, and these are actually hysterical, of course, in a great way. I'm not trying to bash you by any means, but go on.
yeah, and even though like that was kind of a failure, like I was just really, really into the Team Liquid community, just the entire StarCraft community in general. So that's why I stuck around and always, loved participating with the community. I started organizing LANs as well. So
Cool.
I've just always been a very community-oriented person with regards to StarCraft. And in terms of joining EG, I don't think it's like some kind of weird dichotomy
Yeah.
because Team Liquid is the main site for StarCraft, so it's
Sure.
basically everybody will be going there,
Yeah.
regardless if you're on like the rival team or anything. So no one concedes the fact that um, Team Liquid is like the place to go for community.
Yeah. Now, speaking of these lands, are you still an active? I guess are you still actively trying to help out with those in your local community?
Yeah, so actually, I'm organizing one right now, and it's going to happen at the end of summer, August 31st. And it's going to be actually probably the coolest land yet because the Root House has moved to NorCal here.
Hmm.
So they're all going to be coming out. And there's a lot of EG players who have also moved to the area. So they're going to be coming out. So there's actually going to be a lot of like pro players coming to
Wow.
a small local land, which I think is going to be a really awesome
Where
experience.
can people find out more about this?
You could find it on Team Liquid if you just search Bay Area LAN on the Team Liquid search bar. You could also find it on Facebook, and the acronym for it is BATLL. So Battle Bay Area Team Liquid LAN is what the acronym stands for.
Cool. That sounds super awesome. I have my own history with that, with like Lone Star in Texas. Now, people watching might be really inspired by these initiatives that you're setting, being a pro player, playing in school, playing for CSL, getting ridiculous accomplishments there, while at the same time being able to set up these, obviously these LAN events. What would be your best advice to someone trying to really get their local community into esports and making events happen?
My best advice would probably be just go do it. When I was 16 is when I first did my first LAN event, and it's really actually it's pretty. It feels very daunting, but as you go through the process of it, you realize that so many other people want to do the same thing. So everybody's going to help you achieve, making a LAN successful. So I made like a Team Liquid post. I got a lot of people to express interest. Called up a LAN center. We had our first LAN. It was pretty simple, and from then on, like, it just continued to grow after that. The community. So just keep trying. If you don't have a club on your campus or a group on your campus, and you want to participate in something like CSL or whatever, just start your own club. Find some people, because there's always going to be people who are also into StarCraft. And it's just a really great way, and it's to get more involved, and it's also extremely rewarding to be organizing events, to be organizing a club on campus, etc. So I just say go out there and do it.
Very well said. Awesome advice there from Suppy. I think we're about to wrap it up, but before we do, I'd like to give you the floor. Any shout-outs you want to give, anything you want to say to your fans, of course, any sponsors or teams you'd like to mention?
First, I just want to say shout out to my team, Evil Geniuses, and our awesome sponsors, Monster Energy, Kingston HyperX, Astro. Let's take a look. Razer, Intel, ZAM, and XMG, and Need for Seat. We've got a lot of new sponsors recently, so go check them out as I try to work on memorizing them a little bit better. And thanks to all my fans for continuing to support me. Your support means a lot to me, and I really appreciate it. And thanks to MLG for putting on this tournament, and thanks for the interview.
Awesome, man. Thanks a lot for coming on. A great conversation as always, and I look forward to hooking up with you and chatting in the future.
Hooking up with me.
Oh yeah, hooking up. You know what I'm talking about. I was trying to do it subtly, right? You gotta when you're making these events, you gotta do it really subtly. But now you're just kind of pointing it out, so that goes away. Thanks a lot, Suppy. I just want to date you. That's all. All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.
All right, so guys, that was Conan Suppy Liu. Awesome guy living in California, dealing with college, setting up events, winning tournaments. Amazing personality there. Definitely check him out and support him and his team, Evil Geniuses. Guys, that wraps it up for this SC2 player interview. This has been Axel Toss. Check out more gaming content at MajorLeagueGaming.com, and I'll see you next time.